Hi friends! Welcome to the fourth and unfortunately probably the final installment of my Through Hike series for 2020. Spoiler alert, I am off the trail and back home. I intentionally left it out of my videos for the most part, but we were hiking in 2020, the year the coronavirus has struck. And it was actually pretty surreal for us while on trail. We would check in anytime we had a TV and watch the news and get our information from business owners when we came to trail towns and such. But in the trail towns, for the most part, at first at least, nothing was happening. Nothing was closed. Everything was open. And the trail seemed like normal business as usual. So it was really weird for us to get, I want to say, almost conflicting information as it seemed to us while being out on the trail. Of course, we know that all of this stuff that was happening in the world was serious business, but it just hadn't affected our day-to-day quite yet. And so we kept hiking. And finally, when we got to a certain trail town, there was a hostel closed in that town and a second hostel that closed further on. And we were hearing from trail angels that shuttles were getting hard to come by. It was getting more and more serious out in the real world. And finally, the ATC did ask that hikers get off the Appalachian Trail. And several people have mentioned to me that it seems like being out on the trail would be the safest place to be since you're kind of self-isolating out in nature. But their concern, as far as the ATC goes, and it sounds pretty valid, is that yes, we're in the woods for several days at a time, but we do have to come into trail towns to resupply. And we could be unknowing carriers of the virus from trail town to trail town with very few resources in those locations to handle any kind of pandemic that happens in their area. So it did take us several days to digest, but the majority of hikers have come off the trail at this point, and each day all the talk was, are you staying on, are you getting off, who's still on? And it kind of really dampened our spirits the last few days. And to be quite honest, if the trail opens up later this season to continue the hike, I would really have to assess whether or not I wanted to continue, because so many hikers have dropped off the trail. And if there are still hostels or restaurants or places in town that are closed, well, it turns out that that happens to be one of my favorite parts of the trail, is meeting all the people in the wonderful hiking communities. I do hope, though, to get out next year, and so I hope that things start going well in the correct direction and continue to do so. Even though this may be it for us for this year, I like to think that we had one heck of a 344-mile shakedown, and if we do get out on the trail next year, we will have none of these nerves that were bothering us prior to hiking this year. It will be all excitement. Tying up loose ends from my previous video with my feet issues, despite all of those insoles that I received, not one of them fixed my problem. I went back to my regular insoles and finally my feet just resolved themselves. Maybe it was just too fast too soon, but it worked itself out, so that was fabulous. So I hope you guys enjoy the most likely final installment. It's been fun. Thank you for joining me. Happy trails to you guys. Stay safe. We are headed out of Hot Springs. I got 2 biscuits in my pack side pocket. I've got 5 freaking days worth of food in my bear bag. And I've got to climb this steep climb right here. So long, Hot Springs. You were amazing. Good morning. Looky there. Hoosier has a little biscuit, and what is this? What?
Double biscuit.
Hold on. What? Crashtown biscuit? It is lunchtime.
A CTB.
Yes, exactly. It's a little dark. Rich Mountain Fire Tower. Let's see what it's like today. is leg day. Every day is leg day. Every day is leg day. Arm day never comes. Do you see what is happening here? This is dinner. It's Neato and Lucky Charms. Perfect.
It's about 400 calories sitting right there.
That's right.
And
then-
I've got
and chips and dessert.
Yeah, you're.
What you got?
Reese's Puffs.
It's like an advertisement.
I'm so excited.
Someone in Gut Hooks referred to these sites as good AF sites. And after being here, we would have to agree.
Concur.
Happy St. Patty's Day! I don't have green beer, but I do have teal water that I made with blueberry Mio and yellow stream water. Cheers! Do you want to talk about what fall this is for you?
Yeah, so just got cleaned up from fall number 6. It was a coming down about like that. Leaves, mud, Fred Flintstone, feet out from under me. Cleaned up though.
Oh yeah. Hey.
So handy dandy 7-use rag engaged.
Excellent job. We have a murder scene here. Got a little leg bone here. We got some. Who can name this little guy? I'm thinking maybe fox. We got some little tooth right there. A possum?
Oh,
No, they have big teeth though.
They do.
Oh, yeah. This is kind of a neat story if you want to pause it and read. Pack's too big, going backwards. Whee. Cheers! Take a look at this. It's St. Patrick's Day, so it's appropriate that we have green moss in our 300-mile marker. Woo! Outlander fans, if only that crack were a little wider, I could get to Jamie, Alexander, Malcolm, Mackenzie, Fraser. Looks like we're in the right spot. Just in case there's no sign on the summit, I'd like everyone to know that we are about to climb, you guessed it, Big Butt.
Baby got.
I feel like this needs a song. Big Butt Mountain, you have no view today. Made it. So this is our campsite tonight. We're camping by some friends. And according to Gut Hooks, these were a pair of Union soldiers who were visiting family in the Confederacy, and they were killed on this spot during the Civil War. Isn't that sad? They're just visiting family. Anyway, we'll give them company tonight. How appropriate is this fog for a kind of creepy campsite tonight? David Shelton. William Shelton. And I'm not sure who this is. Millard Hare. Interesting. Trail magic! Look at all this goodness. So neat to just run across random grave sites along the trail. I guess these are people who lived here and died here. We're just gonna see quick if anyone's home. Hello?
Who is it?
Can we come in?
Sorry,
Do you have a magic potion to shrink us down?
trail's closed. COVID-19.
What's for lunch today? Cliff Bar, beef jerky, and Nerds Rope. You gotta have the candy dessert. It's a requirement. Oh yeah, getting out of the trees. This is more Life Kit. Welcome to Big Bald. The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. AT. Here's a little backpacking 101 tip for you from Hoosier. If your water source looks like this, how are you going to collect your water? Well, I'll tell you what you do. Find yourself a good little leaf and you make a spout.
Spouting it.
Look at that. Perfect.
Nicely done.
Good job, Hoosier.
Thank you.
Mountain Mama.
I just read speaking of memoirs and biographies like we were talking about earlier, I just read a memoir of Edna O'Brien. She's an author, and it was all
I wish I could can this smell for you or give you smell-o-vision, because today smells so wonderful. Like spring, like damp earth, grass, moss. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, hello, little waterfall. Look at this mess of tents. We got the memo. And the shelter is empty. For dinner we have ranch tuna and crackers that got pretty crumbly. We've got 2 servings of Lucky Charms, yes 2. An Almond Joy, half a Mentos, bag of Cheetos. It's gonna be a good meal.
Epic. Yeah, I'm weird.
I'm videoing, so I love when that happens. Pause. Me too.
Final days. These are the days of our mountain life.
So pensive. And that was the final climb. A little bittersweet there. And final descent down into Erwin. Thank you, AT, for showing your true self, for giving us a send-off with rain at the very end. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. I feel fine.